Hey guys, it's Larry with TaroTonics here. It's been quite a while since my last video. I had some things going on. I'm going to be posting regularly again, and to celebrate that, I wanted to do something a little different, give you guys an example of some of the spreads I use in private readings. I call this the choices spread, and I've got it set up for you. What I'll need you guys to do to get the most out of this video is keep it in your head or get a piece of paper and write down something you're trying to decide between. You can have up to 4 choices, and we're going to explore each one of those choices here. If you only have 2 or 3 things to choose from, that's okay. Any blank spot will just be something you haven't thought of yet or something else. So you can pause this video if you need a moment to get a pen, paper, and think about those things. And just push play when you're ready and we'll proceed. Alright guys, welcome back. In this spread, I've already got this ready for us. The first thing that I do is put the choices in envelopes. And the reason I do this is sometimes when you're trying to make a decision, when you know what you're deciding from, either consciously or subconsciously, we can be rooting for one of the options. So we may read into it what we want. And this takes that bias out of the equation. It allows us to focus on the potential outcomes of the choice instead of what we think we want. Now, in each of these envelopes is a number, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that's going to correlate to the choices that you've written down. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put cards down for each envelope and read what is most likely to occur should that option be chosen. So let's get started. Already shuffled the cards and infused them with intention. So I'm just going to take a moment. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay out the cards. I want to make sure everything's in screen here. So I'll just give me a moment to adjust. And the reason I like to go ahead and lay them out is in case I encounter a situation where I'd usually pull another card, it won't interfere with the way the cards we're going to land. And that's just something that I like to do personally. Okay. All right, so let's dive in and see what each path has in store. The first card we encounter is the 8 of Pentacles. Quite a bit of glare on it. So, the first thing we see out of the path in this envelope is hard work, keeping busy, recognized for the abilities and the craftsmanship of your work. So that so far that appears to be a very fruitful option, probably concerning a work or career path, or just Pentacles can be anything in the material realm. But it's definitely showing keeping busy, fruitful work, and people recognizing your skill. Let's see the 6 of Cups here. as the first card under the next envelope. And the Six of Cups is relating to the past. It's a very general uh, card with a lot of potential interpretations, but it does show that this option is linked to something already experienced, whether it's a place or it's a person or uh, a job, just something that maybe you're thinking about revisiting uh, or bringing something from a past situation into the current situation. So this option is going to have strong ties to the past. And whether or not that is to your benefit or detriment, we'll take a look at with the next cards. And I like to do one card at a time because it kind of gives you an overview and a buildup of the energy surrounding each option. It gives you time to let things sink in and make a really good choice. Next card is the Ten of Pentacles. So while up here in this envelope we see a positive work environment, in this card is the Ten of Pentacles. Very, very good financial card to get. So whether this option has to do with home life or has to do with job, in any event, it is definitely financially rewarding. So that's something to keep in mind. And next, on the last, we see the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords, as you can hopefully see, is galloping very quickly towards you. Swords represent thought, and the knights are the messengers of the tarot, of the court cards. So he's rushing towards you, saying that, hold on a second. You need to really take a close look at the situation. Things may not be exactly what you think they are. And when I encounter a card like this is one of the cards I do like to put another card on to try to get a little bit more information about maybe an area the card is speaking to. So I'm going to pull another card, and it's the Hanged Man. I apologize for the glare. All right, so I'll place that on top of the Knight of Swords. With the Hanged Man, we see someone who is hung up at the moment on something from the past. So it could be, in this case, that something from the past is clouding your judgment. Or someone from the past, uh, someone that you trust, even if it's not from the past. There's something there that you really need to take a closer look at. You may be referring to preconceived notions that you have about something, whether it's a positive or a negative notion. It could be that it's misguided. There may be more there than you're aware of. So I'll be interested to see the other cards and relating to that envelope. Now we're going to come back to this envelope here where we have the Eight of Pentacles and see what more information we get. We see the Tower. Okay. So the Tower does represent something unexpected, and kind of out of the blue, things taking a left turn, and not for the better. So whereas we do see things going well, if this option, say, had anything to do with starting a business, I would see the beginning of things going off to a really good start, and then something beyond your control happening that really throws a wrench in the operations. But yeah, in any event, it definitely goes from being fruitful and working positively for you to things at best grinding to a halt, at worst taking a uh, serious turn for the worst there, uh, involving this decision. So that's definitely something you're going to want to keep in mind. And if you're not sure right now, at the end of the reading, once you've made your decision about which path is best for you, I will be opening up the envelopes and showing you which option is in which one, so that you know which choices you do want and which choices maybe you don't want to pursue at this time. All right. In our next envelope, we see the Seven of Cups. All right. So you have a lot of options. All right. So this choice is relating to something in your past, and you're having there's a lot of potential there, and you're not entirely might not be entirely sure about which things are real and which things maybe you just kind of want to see. Uh, what options are steady, and what options are more smoke than substance. What may not pan out, what might just be kind of false promises. So making a wise decision there is going to be really important. We want to make sure that any decision you make has a firm foundation in reality. Sometimes, like I said at the beginning, which is the inspiration behind this entire reading, we see what we want to see in our choices, and that can lead us to make ill-advised decisions that we end up regretting later. So, in this case, you want to just pay attention, make sure that our sense of nostalgia isn't clouding our judgment. And down here, you see the Six of Wands. So this is turning out to be a pretty good envelope here. We got great, uh, financial and mundane existence, and we got the Six of Wands just represents recognition in a little bit different way than the Eight of Pentacles. The Six of Wands is getting pat on the back for the things that you've accomplished, and with the Ten of Pentacles here, it seems very well deserved. They've done things good. It definitely seems like this is a pretty positive choice so far here. And in our last envelope over here, our next card is the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is all about balance, like the twos are. And we're talking about the material realm and finances when we're talking about pentacles. So at first, we're warned to make sure that we understand the situation thoroughly, because something in it may not be authentic, and it might be something that we're hung up on, something that we can't see the truth of because we can't get out of our own head or out of our own way about it. And then we see this juggling act here in the Two of Pentacles, just trying to keep things going. It definitely feels like there's a lot of hectic energy going on with this choice. Anxious comes to mind. It seems like there's a lot of, maybe this choice is fueled more by anxiety than by desire or by facts. I almost get the feeling that this choice is making you instead of you making this choice, if that makes any sense. And we'll see more about it in a moment. We're going to come back to this envelope. Recap, we've got things off to a really good start with getting you know, starting down a fruitful path and things taking a sudden turn for the worse down that path. And then we see the Five of Cups, which tells me that it's going to leave you feeling in a very negative emotional space. That's the card of sadness and discontentment. So even though it starts off really well, which might be why you're considering this decision in the first place, everything about it might be saying that this is a good idea. As you get into it, the truth, if it turns out, is that it's not such a good idea, and I would definitely caution against the path held within this envelope. Because it's clearly not as rewarding as was expected or anticipated, or even would be believed from the onset based on the results. So this envelope here, we've got something relating to the past, and we've got a lot of choices in trying to make the right one. Then we see the Page of Cups. Okay, so that's a messenger. I get the feeling that this choice may involve another person. You know, these are all three cups here. This is all emotions. It's a very emotional choice. The word loyalty is coming to mind. It is potential that it is possible that your loyalty to someone or to a relationship or friendship or something might be causing you some thoughts there. The Page of Cups, along with Nine Pages, also have messages, and this is also, being a cup is emotional. So you're looking for that emotional good news, hoping that your decision leads to something positive. And to get more information on that, I'm going to pull the card, and the card I pull is the Five of Swords, all right, which is the first card here that's not a cup. So what I see is a lot of hope. There's a lot of hope here, wanting something to go in a particular way. And then we see the Five of Swords, indicating that something about this situation is definitely unfulfilling, and maybe the hope of emotion there will ultimately, according to these cards, be unrealized. So I do sense a lot of dilemma here and a lot of loyalty, but with these cards, I would suggest that you not let loyalty override what you feel to be right about the situation. Don't let those things cloud your judgment. You have to take everything as it stands today when you're making your decisions, and not base them on things from the past. All right, and we're looking at the last card on this envelope now. Okay, we see the Four of Swords, and so far this is overwhelmingly the best option, the best envelope here. You see the Ten of Pentacles. This is a great, stable home life, great finances, and the Six of Wands, getting the accolades and the pat on the back for the work you've put in to achieve this. And then the Four of Swords, which, when it's said and done, you get to kind of sit on your laurels, rest on your laurels. You get to sit down and enjoy it. You take a break. You've earned it. So there is definitely some work here, but it pans out really well. And when it's over, you've made great accomplishments, and you get to revel in it. So, yeah. So far, if I was trying to decide between something, I'd be very heavily leaning here. And brings us to our last card over here. See the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is all about celebration. So even though in these first cards I did sense anxiety, turmoil, maybe this is a decision that you're really feeling kind of torn up about, in the end, you do find the proper balance, and you get to a place of happiness and celebration, because it ultimately does work out beneficially. The specific situations that sometimes the Four of Wands can refer to could be a wedding, a graduation, some type of um, party that recognizes an accomplishment of some kind, a ceremony of some kind, perhaps. That's not always the case. Uh, you know, if this option happened to be a question about finishing school, for example, and even though you've got strong feelings about that, you see it one way, you don't want to respond too abruptly, too short-sightedly. Find balance and reap the rewards. But and I should just throw this out there, guys. Clearly, there could be a lot of different people watching this, and that could make the universal energies, a little confused when we're trying to make choices based on a lot of different people. This is a little bit of an experiment, trying to see how this goes. I sincerely hope this is very helpful for you guys, as we're about to find out what option is in each envelope here. If some of it applies and some of it doesn't, it's simply because there's so many energies at play, as I'm trying to help so many different people with so many different possibilities. If you need more specific and detailed information, feel free to book a consultation with me. We can go over your situation specifically, and I can get you some really detailed information instead of just these general energies here. But without further ado, we're going to take a look at each envelope and see what we have going on. I think most people would agree. I usually ask them to pick the one they definitely want to go with, and most people would probably agree one of these two would be the one they'd go with. So let's see what's in this envelope first. In this envelope, we see option 3. Okay. So whatever you wrote down for option 3 is your best. This is the outcome for it. If you only had 2 options, then option 3 for you would be something that you haven't thought of yet. So let's see what we have here next. Option 2 also seems to have a rather positive ending, even though there is, maybe this is a choice that you're really kind of agonizing over. It ends, it shows a positive resolution. All right, so let's see what we have in this envelope here. This envelope is option number 4. All right, so if you didn't have a 4th option, then again, this is something that maybe you hadn't thought of, or you just didn't write down, or you know, if you definitely don't have any other options, then that particular one might not apply to you. All right, so no surprise, option number one here, as it's the only one that was remaining. Option number one, you know, definitely starts off well, takes a quick and sudden turn for the worse, and leaves you feeling emotionally distraught, very upset over the situation. Now, again, if you're looking at your option, you're going, well, I just don't see how that's possible for you. Maybe it's not. Like I said, there's a lot of energies at play here. These are very general, and I do hope this is useful for you. I hope you've been able to make a good decision here if you've been struggling with the choice. And again, if maybe option number one you feel is a really good option, and you either want more information on what could happen, or if you want to know if these definitely apply to you, you can always book a consultation with me, and we can definitely delve deeper into that situation. So guys, this is my choices spread. I came with it years ago so that I could make decisions for myself, where I took, you know, my strong desire out of it and just made choices based on the facts of the situation. Again, I hope you found this useful. Please tune in next time, as we're going to do a pick a deck spread shortly. Thank you guys for watching. If you did find this useful and interesting, please click the like button and subscribe so you can get future videos. If this did help you, or if it didn't, please leave a comment and let me know. I'm always open to feedback. You guys have a great day.